Yes, I don't see the curvature. Yeah. I also don't feel the spin of the Earth. I also don't see the gravity. Yes, things fall down, but they don't have the center of gravity that we believe in. We believe that everything has a center of gravity and everything is turning into little balls. Slowly. I am turning into a ball. My back, my spine is just not working correctly because I have to sit to a computer. So maybe that's the center of gravity. I don't understand. But I'm not observing these things. You guys realize I'm not observing these things. These are not impactful things to my life. Whether it's a globe or flat, it looks flat, it works flat, everything is as significant as if it was flat. And nothing beyond that. I don't see anything else, right? If I think of the earth as flat, I'm good. I'm okay. If I think it as a globe, I have to think of other things to support that belief, which again is the center of gravity, is the unobserved, non-existent things. So, and the moment you talk about this and you're like, I don't see the curvature. Well, you don't see the curvature because you're not far enough, high enough, or whatever. Oh my God. Are you serious? Did you observe the curvature? Were you high enough? Or are you just high on science? Did you just injected some science into your bloodstream directly? You need to digest science. You need to experience science to actually tell anything. Well, actually, I have read in a book, I have listened to some guy telling me, actually, when you go into space, then you see something. Then things start to change 180 degrees, actually. And your life becomes insignificant, and the God doesn't exist, and there's the Big Bang all of a sudden. If you go into space, man. And there's no possible way science could actually fake this. No actual way that science could actually fake vaccines. No actual way that science wouldn't be able to prove that being gays is not a choice. Right? There's absolutely no way that they could prove this, and nobody would come out and say otherwise. You know what? You're forgetting one specific thing. Now, I'm asking this question why science has flat Earth, but actually, I started asking why government hides flat Earth. That's how people start asking themselves, like, who's in charge, first of all, and how nobody's actually whistleblowing that information, that NASA is completely discredited, that nobody, first of all, everyone is disconnected in these big entities. Everyone is disconnected. They're working on their own little thing, and most of the time, science is very much connected with technology, right? So you're inventing new technology. You are an engineer. You're a programmer. You're not actually working in NASA, right? But the real authority is capable of using these tools into projecting whatever the stories they come up with. And someone has to know, obviously, that this is just the bullshit. It's just the story that they're telling. Because there's no absolutely no way to explain, like, okay, we went to the moon, but we can't go to the moon anymore. We just forgot how to do that. We actually erased everything at the same time. All the records. Like, none of this makes sense. But the debate is so stupid as well. It's the story of the globe Earth. It's totally insignificant. It's totally pointless. I cannot observe any of this. I cannot use it in my life. I cannot go to Mars because we cannot go to the moon all of a sudden. Like, what? How does that even work? We're preparing for the travel to the Mars, but we cannot go to the moon, guys. Oh no. Oh no. we're going to space, but we just kind of bump into something. Okay, that's kind of weird. I don't know. You can call it radiation. I think it's a little bit more solid than that. If we kind of go through it, but I mean, the flat Earth is just ridiculous. Oh my God, what is happening, right? That is the real question that people ask. Like, what the fuck is happening, and why science doesn't tell me about it? Well, nobody cares. You thought that people care about you? Wow, you have to fucking wake up. This is one of those things that happens in a wind-water relationship, where wind constantly tells you some kind of story of how it cares about you. It's like, man, I really listen to you. I really appreciate what you're saying, what you're feeling. I really care about you guys. And in reality, just spying on you, just collecting your data, collecting every single move that you make, everything about you. It's reading you. It's trying to read through your emotions, through what you feel, where you are in life, what you like doing, what kind of products can they pitch you in, what kind of direction can they pull you in, what kind of things you will allow yourself to reject about reality. And it is getting so out of control right now. Social media. Oh boy. That's what science is doing right now. Science is now the most evil entity you can think of. Technology is thumbs up. Like, I'm using a computer. I'm gonna buy a computer every year, pretty much, for the rest of my life at this point. So that stuff is amazing. Technology is amazing, but science, all of a sudden, science is the most evil entity you can think of. Because not only it takes our money, which we don't actually send directly to them. We're supposed to send money directly to military, to science, to everything that we're using. Everything has to be separated and properly taxed. But the governments of the world have decided to tax us for any profit that we make. They just make a cut out of it because, well, you got lucky. You don't actually have skill. The establishment has skill. They don't have any luck. They actually establish themselves. People have elected them, and establishments need money, and at the same time they have established schools, which is really awkward. The school system is so awkward because what schools do is they promote products as well. Just like this question again, why government hides flat Earth, even though it's science. But government established everything to specifically promote products of science. There's so many things in schools that are so pointless, but they're kind of like products of things that you could project towards, things that you can learn about the world. But sometimes they're totally pointless to go too deep into actually want to be graded. Oh, I want the best grade possible, guys. Oh my God, now I'm gonna memorize the solar system the way it was told. I will not care about anything, whether it's real or not. I'm just gonna memorize. And all of a sudden, the moment you memorize something, that's when the significance that's where the cancer starts to grow. Because now you have something that you want to be significant because you've memorized it. You've put effort. And the science is constantly saying, we care about that. If you memorize more things about the sun's size and distance from the earth, if you do all these things which are totally pointless, but we're going to care about you so much. Just please do it, okay? Please inject that into your bloodstream. Again, I want to go back to vaccines to remind you guys how pointless they are, and that gay is actually a choice. I'm going to remind you guys that as well. Every single gay has made a choice. I'm telling you that That is very significant. And the science is actually infiltrating that as well, because they have evolved their products. Science is a completely different entity from what you would think it is. It's an entity of monopolies. So schools naturally become into these monopolies. YouTube is science. It's a monopoly at this point. It is not actually a technology. YouTube is not a technology. It's more like an algorithm trying to achieve some kind of agenda, right? Of whatever they want to do. It's so weird. But YouTube is not. It is not technology because it is a monopoly. Every monopoly is basically this science entity at this point, which are trying to feed their own narrative, give their own products. Simply because you believe in YouTube, it turned into a school system where everyone gets their education. Everyone wants to become a YouTuber, for example. Oh, come on, stop it. You have no idea how hard it is to become a YouTuber. You have to play games, steal other people's content, not feel shame of yourself, be a PewDiePie, pretty much, in every way. PewDiePie is the best example of how to be a YouTuber and how fucked up that is. Oh man. No offense, PewDiePie, but he's my biggest enemy, right? My whole purpose is to figure out whether he had luck or he actually has skill. And I have not yet, in a single point in time, have found any form of skill that PewDiePie has. There's none of it. Zero skill. He has a personality, but that's luck. That is what you're born with, right? And if you embrace that personality, keep on growing that certain direction, you're just embracing luck. Same goes with being gay. Same goes with being transsexual. I don't care what your sexual point of view is. The thing is, the science says, well, you're lucky. It's not a choice. You just gotta live with your parents. You just gotta live in your parents' basement, I suppose. You just gotta embrace this lifestyle of getting paid for free, simply because your parents are so generous and rich. So you get free stuff, and you have to embrace that. I mean, holy crap. And then you have to go to Dr. Phil's show and ask more money from parents. That's how it works, man. Like, you go to a doctor and be like, hey, science, I was lucky, now I want to be more lucky. Can we arrange that really quickly? Oh boy, that is so fucking weird. So again, yeah, being gay is absolutely a choice to a certain degree, right? You might be born attracted to boys or whatever for whatever reason. It's different habits. It's very psychologically weird, so to speak. It's hard to figure out because I don't think there's 100% being gay, but you like certain things. Let's say I get excited thinking about sexual adventures, and I'm like, I also have a lot of male friends which I want to explore. There's just some stupid fantasy that you build up upon, or like I like looking like a girl or something. I don't know. All kinds of things you can think of, but it's definitely a choice. It's always a choice for me as well. I grew up loving to make games, but I knew from the very beginning that's what I have been doing. And AdventureCraft for me was the greatest failure because I understand that making games is not who I am, or I cannot be a game maker. It's just, if I just identify just as a game maker, as a programmer, I will lose so much potential in life in general. But most of it, I will be dependent on something. Like I was dependent on AdventureCraft, and it fell apart, and I just fell apart as well. And it was just, I put so much work and everything is just falling apart. That was the greatest failure for me. Because now I realize like I have to be super responsible for everything that I do in life. That there is no no ability to fail, and that's what skill is about. The moment you have skill, there is absolutely no way you can fail, right? Because you can build it up all over again. There is no luck involved, so you didn't just won $1 million and now you can spend it. No, you actually earned it. So if you lose $1 million, you can still earn it back again. You have the skill, right? There's no possibility of failure. And this is the most important part. This is the reason why I created this series of Ninja School. Is about you unlearn a lot of things. You unlearn how to be gay. You unlearn how to be straight. You learn how to love people in a way. In a certain way, at least. You unlearn your personality. People have personalities. I have already found that out. It's the greatest thing that I've ever created. It's like there's these 4 personalities, and they're very significant. You can almost look at the person and you immediately know what personality they have. You immediately know that stuff, and at that point, it's like, yeah, they have a lot of things to fix. I myself, again, I have a lot of things to fix, but I'm starting to unlearn. And the most important process is obviously logic. There's a lot of questions to ask. There's a lot of things to learn of how to organize things, how to make things compact. Because the moment you make things compact, is like you can reject your parents, you can reject your friends. It doesn't matter. You have the skill to build relationships back again. Like, that's the whole point. The moment you have this power of skill, you can just reject a lot of things. And that is the most powerful thing you can have. Because again, you will rebuild it. Just like the Creeper's Forge, very interesting how everything connects. The Creeper's Forge is pretty much telling the same story of luck, where 2 brothers stumble upon something, and it was the Creeper's Forge, right? And one brother was not attacked by creepers, so he just went in and wanted to explore, but he never really came out. And then all of a sudden he sends creepers to destroy his brother's village, his brother's family, pretty much. Obviously, in the Creeper's Forge, you can't make a family, ever. So in a way, you can become jealous as well. And but then there is this hero, which is born in this war, basically, who has to reach the Creeper's Forge, who has to fix the mistakes. It's very interesting because it definitely talks about luck, and also has to rebuild the village. So that's kind of weird. Everything gets destroyed in front of him, and now he has to prove his skill, that he can actually rebuild things, that he has learned stuff from his parent, and he can actually, destroy the Creeper's Forge as well. Unlearn the Creeper's Forge for the sake of everyone else who had to deal with this bullshit. It's weird. I can't really put it together too well, but I mean, that's how I build stories. Like, everything kind of starts clicking. It's like, oh, it's a story about luck and unlearning and rebuilding what has been destroyed, but like proving your skill, his ability to rebuild. How does this all come together? Oh boy. Again, the vaccines and science, it's about creating a product. Why do we hide Flat Earth? It's a product. They have to hide it. It's the most stupid thing ever. Like, of course they will promote their own products. Of course. But then there's the darker phase, where when enough people believe in something, it becomes a monopoly. If enough people watch YouTube, it becomes a monopoly. And then they can just shove a gun into your head and say, you have no escape. You're ours. And so you must always have an alternative where you can escape. This is why I am encouraging this same behavior of skill. You can let go. You just let go and rebuild. Let go and rebuild. That's what you have to do. When someone points a gun at you, you must know for a fact death is not the end. You can give up your life and rebuild your life because you have an eternal soul, and science cannot deny that by any means. Whatever the story they might tell you, there is no way that life is about that. And that you just live forever, and that you just attempt to live forever or as long as possible. That's your main goal. Like, it makes no sense, because then life is totally meaningless. The only life that would actually exist logically is the one that you can rebuild if you lose it, if you're not lucky enough, if you get aborted or something. Like, come on, like, seriously. We all should kill ourselves if that's what life is. If some people get unlucky and there's no skill, right? Am I lucky to be alive? That would be the most disgusting thing to actually say. Because I hate luck so much, right? And I say life is a choice. Life is a skill. That's a very important distinction. And by definition, there has to be an afterlife. But this afterlife is very weird. It's hiding. I don't know what kind of drugs you have to go through to actually discover it. But it seems like logic is enough, but like it's the same thing. There is no observation, there is no experience to confirm afterlife also exists. Just like what science would tell us is the same thing. So I'm not sure how to think about this just yet, but logically it makes sense that, yeah, life cannot be about luck. Sometimes it might be, but it has to be skill. It has to be a choice. And over time, as you're making more and more choices, obviously, you have the ability to give up at any point. You have to have the ability to fail so hard that you just lose your life. And most of the time, again, it's just, you can sort of predict when something is some bad thing is gonna occur. You can sort of predict that and avoid it. But okay, that's gonna be enough. I just wanted to remaster the video that I've actually released. I think it's a lot better now. I couldn't touch on Peter Joseph, but I'm gonna talk about modern socialism a little bit. Let's put it for the next episode. It was really a struggle to make episode 14 in general, but I think it worked out. As long as I get the fuck out of here really quickly. But again, we're dealing with monopolies here. We're dealing with centers of gravity. And the moment, yeah, it's like a black hole. The moment you're in the black hole, there is no escape. You do not want to get into the black hole right now. And that's what science loves. Science loves black holes. Oh boy. The moment science is capable of putting a gun at you and saying you have to pay us everything. Pay us everything. Because you have no escape at this point. There is no escape. That's what science would love to do. That's what the monopolies love to do. They want to trap people into where there is no choice. You have to pay. And that's what's going to happen in the future. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen beyond that when monopolies start to fall apart, but we'll see. Oh boy, this is scary. This is fucking stupid at the same time.